Hello, and welcome back to a new semester of Southern Sports Network. Hurricane Irma knocked out our first few shows, but we're back and ready to update you on all that has happened this fall season. I'm JJ Necro.
And I'm Abby Williams, here to update you on the latest in Moccasin sports news. To kick off the year, volleyball started their season September 1st and 2nd with the Terrace Hotel Classic. The Lady Mocs ended the first day with a 3-0 win against Pace and a 3-0 loss against St. Paul. The second day brought the Mocs a 3-0 win over New Haven before falling in 5 sets to Western Washington in the final. Avoiding Irma, the team took a road trip to Colorado to play in the 2017 Colorado Premier Challenge. FSC lost their first sets of games to Angelo State and Metro State on Friday, September 8th. They started Saturday off strong with a 3-2 win over West Florida, but lost 3-1 to Regis in the final. On September 19th, junior Whitney Drost finished with a career high of 17 kills as FSC rallied back from a 2-1 deficit to defeat Tampa 3-2 in their first SSC contest of the season. On Friday the 22nd, the Mocs faced off against Lynn, winning 3-0, and on Wednesday racked up the same score against Eckerd. The men's and women's cross-country team participated in the Trekva Division II Showcase Invitational on September 23rd in Nashville, Tennessee. Mason Jones, a freshman running in her first collegiate 5K, placed 12th to lead FSC with a 5th place finish. The men's side totaled 150 points in the race. On the women's side, Hannah Nelson finished 19th, giving FSC a 7th place finish at the showcase. They totaled 211 points in the race.
St. Leo hosted the Griffin Invitational on September 18th to start off the men's golf season. In the first round, they shot a 290, but the second round was suspended due to darkness. Leading the way for the Mocs is senior John Coltis with a 4-under 68 and senior John Vanderlaan with a 72. FSC got a 67 from John Coltis in the completion of the round 2 on Tuesday and a 72 from junior Michael Vanderlaan in round 3. This caused the Mocs to jump 2 spots in the final standings for a 4th place finish. The team's next tournament will be October 9th and 10th at the Golf Rank Invitational hosted by Nova Southeastern. The women's golf team played the past 2 weeks in Dayton's and Hilton Head, finishing 2nd and 3rd. Junior Tori Higgins led the team in both tournaments with a 2nd place finish and a 7th place finish and shooting under par her last round at Hilton Head. Sophomore Amanda Gartrell finished 21st in Hilton Head with a steady 74-76 for the Mocs. Senior Abby Williams finished 12th, firing an impressive 75-73. The Lady Mocs play next in Palm Beach at PGA National.
The women's soccer team started off their season on September 1st in Mount Olive, North Carolina. The team, under new head coach Paul Lawrence, finished with a tie game of 0-0 at Chowan. Both teams played strong offensive and defense, but the Mocs outshot Chowan 19-9. The game featured an impressive 6 saves from senior goalkeeper Helena Nordstrom. The Mocs stayed in the city of Mount Olive and scored their first win of the season against University of Mount Olive. The game ended 3-0. After 2 postponed games due to Irma, the women's soccer team returned to action only to be defeated by Rollins with a score of 1-0. Though the Mocs led on shots on goal and nearly half the amount of saves as Rollins, the Tars scored the only goal of the game in the last minute of playtime. But the Mocs were back up on their feet 3 days after that with a win against St. Leo, scoring 2-1. The game went into overtime, where the only goal was scored by freshman Tatum Albrecht. Junior Megan Styrone and Albrecht both scored their first goals of the season that night, with Styron's goal in the 89th minute of play bringing the game to a tie and sending it to overtime.
The Florida Southern men's soccer team played their first game of the season against Schroeder College. The Mocs scored 2 goals in the first half and allowed 1 goal from the opposing team, but junior Romain Vorin kept the game out of reach by scoring another 2 goals in the second half. The team's first game under new head coach Jason Carlson was successful, ending in a 4-1 victory. During their first away game of the season, the men's soccer team scored 2 goals in the first half of the game before being put on a hold by a lengthy weather delay. When the game commenced, each team was able to score another goal. It was another victorious night for the Mocs, with a final score of 3-1. The game against Rollins was rescheduled because of Irma. It was a slow start to the game with no goals scored until about 10 minutes left in the game. Unfortunately, it was a goal by a member of the Rollins soccer team. It was the Mocs' first loss of the season with a final score of 1-0. The Mocs had a strong game against St. Leo with the first goal scored on a rebound by freshman Christopher Gums just minutes into the game. Gum scored again and then assisted on the third goal in the first half of the game. The men's soccer team scored again in the second half to end the game with a winning score of 4-0. FSC played the undefeated Florida Nationals on Monday night. The Conquistadors were able to score 3 goals in the first half and blocked all of Florida Southern's goals. The Mocs could not score against them, ending the game with a 4-0 defeat. Thank you for tuning in to Southern Sports Network. I'm JJ Necro.
And I'm Abby Williams. We'll see you next week.